This gentleman has no helmet, no shoes. The enforcer's asking for the license now. There's another rider that was flagged down. I just heard him say Jen Lang. That's a member of Dilag. Why are you apprehending Dilag? Diyan lang ako, gang! Okay, he has a license at least. It's very dangerous to ride without a helmet, especially on a rainy day. That's when a lot more accidents happen. I just saw them try to stop an Ankas rider because his passenger's not wearing a helmet, but they weren't able to stop him, so they sent a big bike after him. There you go. You see in the distance there, that lady with the white shirt. She had the Ankas helmet on her elbow instead of her head. I just don't know if that's a paying customer or if it's his wife or what. But the helmet is on her elbow instead of her head, and she's wearing slippers. As you know, that's prohibited. According to the rider, the lady was refusing to wear her helmet. And I don't know why he told enforcers, but he just said this is the second time he's been apprehended for carrying a passenger without a helmet. If they don't want to wear a helmet, don't let them ride, kuya. Sayang your license, sayang your money. Right? If you try and get in a regular taxi and you're smoking, the driver won't let you in. If you try and put 8 people inside a taxi, he won't allow it. Why? Because he knows he's at risk, his license is at risk. If you're wondering why they're making all that noise, it's because they're trying to get the attention of the owners of these cars to come out and move them. They're all being ticketed for illegal parking. That's why people are starting to come out of their houses now. And I'm not excusing what the lady did. She is definitely responsible for not wearing her helmet. But ultimately, the license holder, the operator of the vehicle, he's the one that's going to be held responsible for whatever's done on that vehicle. See that sign in the background? No parking tollway zone. And then there's a vehicle parked right here. That's why the enforcer issued a ticket. And finally, the towing crew have just arrived now to pick it up. The enforcer already wrote out a ticket to that one, and he was asking for the license because the driver was actually trying to leave. So he told him, we need your license so we can put it on the ticket first. And there's some of the bikes you saw earlier going from the sidewalk to the tow truck. There goes one more vehicle to Tomana in Marikina City. The towing crew just removed the rocks and tires that were surrounding this vehicle. A lot of the time people use those to reserve parking. Imagine that, no parking, but it's reserved. Anyway, I was thinking that this is another area where it would probably help if the barangay went around with a pressure washer. Because look at the sidewalks, they're all green and slippery, right? I did actually hear someone a moment ago name-dropping people inside the MMDA, thinking that it might get him away from his ticket, but they still issued a ticket anyway. Not related to the vehicle that I'm looking at right now, but just nearby. I guess that maybe that blue one and white one are related because both of them have the same Supreme Court stickers. But if you ask me if either of them belong to the Supreme Court, my guess would be no. I could be wrong, but we know for a fact that a lot of people put stickers on their car because they think it will somehow. The enforcer is just explaining to Bong now the complaint from the residents that said they had a one-side parking ordinance. But the team already coordinated with the barangay and they said there's no such one-side parking ordinance. And when I looked inside their garage, they converted it to a living space. It was full of tables, chairs, things like that. So they do actually have somewhere to park their car, but they're leaving their car outside and then treating the garage as extra living space. And just to clarify, it's not this vehicle, it's a different one nearby. And in fact, the enforcers have the paperwork here from the barangay where they detailed exactly which streets allow parking and which streets do not allow parking. So that's part of their coordination. And aside from the prior coordination and paperwork, there's also barangay personnel on the road that they can talk to during the operation. I just overheard on someone's radio that allegedly there's a lady blocking the tow truck standing in the middle so that they cannot leave with the vehicle that's being picked up. Oh, that's the same lady I saw earlier with the white car. Does she own multiple cars? Obviously they can't move while the lady's standing there, it would be far too dangerous, so they'll have to call the police. And yeah, that's the lady I saw earlier with a white car that also got towed away. The enforcers are trying to convince her to just move, but they might really have to wait for the police. Hopefully not though, because it's just a waste of time. The lady has agreed to have it towed if they put it on a flatbed. And honestly, throwing it on the flatbed is probably quicker than waiting for the police to come here. So they'll just switch it around. It's not a big deal really. The lady is fortunate that they still have a way to put it on a flatbed, because sometimes they just do not have flatbeds available. They've already been taken up by other vehicles, especially the four-wheel drives. Anyway, honestly, this is just the simpler option to throw it up here and get it over and done with. At least the towing crew were thoughtful enough to color match. What would be your choice? Which one would you buy? And I don't mean the ones in the tow truck, right? Those are going to be claimed back by the owners. I just mean, which model do you prefer for yourself if you were to go and buy a new motorcycle? Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're issuing a ticket to this vehicle parked on the sidewalk. As you know, the sidewalk is for pedestrians, it's not for parking. If a driver comes out, it would just be a ticket and then he'll be asked to move the vehicle. If there's no driver, then obviously it goes up on the tow truck. There's another vehicle being ticketed over here, but from what I can see, there's a driver. So it's just a ticket, no need to tow it. This one is also parked on the sidewalk, but the enforcer already issued a ticket. It's not nice and it's not fair, it's not reasonable, it's not safe to force pedestrians into the road. The sidewalk is really for pedestrians, and that's why this enforcer is looking at this vehicle, because again, the sidewalk got taken. It should be that you adjust the private property to make the vehicle fit, not take over the public property. Now that the rider's being flagged down, he wants to wear his helmet. Aside from not wearing a helmet, he's wearing slippers. So total violations would add up to 2,000 pesos. Unlike many of the smaller streets here that have a one-side parking ordinance, according to the barangay, no parking is allowed both sides of this street. And that's where the towing crew are getting ready to pick this one up. There's no driver. And you'll see the towing crew walking around this one now. It is a red plate, but the same rules apply. The enforcers have been waiting, no drivers come. Same thing as the private vehicles, right? They give a grace period before they tow it. But if nobody comes out, no one can show a license, no one can move it, then obviously it goes up on the tow truck. You can be sure that if the team towed the private vehicle and then ignored the red plate, someone will file a complaint. Because a lot of people are watching it every day. They're looking out their windows, they want to see that it's fair to everybody. And it's really like that. They have to treat everyone the same, even if it's a government vehicle. It's not just cars though. You can see the enforcer writing out a ticket to this tricycle for the same thing, obstructing the public road. You might have noticed the one in front of that is actually going up on the tow truck already. I actually heard someone complaining yesterday that there's not enough space, and that was on a road that had one-side parking. He said the government should give him a space. Shouldn't it be that before you buy a car, you make sure you have a parking space, somewhere to put it? And then if you don't have a space, you pay to rent a space somewhere, right? And here's one more that's gone up. There's some really nice cars here, actually. But unfortunately, you need to clear the road. Here's another one that's going up now. I've actually read some comments saying they shouldn't clear the roads when it's raining. Do they not know about rainy season? There's going to be many rainy days. People still need to get to work. They still need to get home. Pedestrians still need to use the sidewalk. So the rules of the road are not suspended just because it's raining. And this one is a nice vehicle, but still going to be ticketed. And a ticket was written out to Beetlejuice. It's just that the enforcer is taking cover, because if his ticket book gets wet, he will be held responsible for any damaged tickets. He will have to pay for them, each individual ticket that gets damaged. And that's actually why the enforcer here is writing out the ticket under the cover of the tricycle that he's ticketing. Aside from that, you have the tricycle behind that's on the sidewalk, and then you have the SUV there, which has already been ticketed also. The enforcer is asking this gentleman if he's the owner of this motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. As much as possible, they want to give people a fair chance. So if they can show a license, they will let them drive away with a ticket. It's not just motorcycles on the sidewalk, you'll see cars like this. Again, everyone gets a chance. They can show a license, they can leave with just a ticket. A lot of people really think the sidewalk in front of their home is an extension of their private property that can be used for parking, for washing machines, for whatever they want. But it's not like that. The sidewalk is a public space for pedestrians. Anyway, you see the enforcer writing out a ticket for the motorcycle and for the car. See that guy? Where is he walking? In the middle of the road. Because of this. Look. If you're wondering about all that noise, they're doing it to try and wake up the drivers. Anyway, the enforcers are writing out tickets to all of these vehicles, and I suspect a lot of them will go up on the tow trucks, because I've been standing here a long time and only a few people came out to move their vehicles. See this here? You have a regular sidewalk, and then boom, tiles, as if it's a bathroom. or a lounge or a sala, right? Tiles on a public sidewalk, and then a vehicle, and then a bunch of plants. So bad luck for pedestrians. And further along, you'll see the garage. Can you really imagine doing that? Instead of adjusting your private property, you say, I'm just going to extend over the public sidewalk. I'm going to take that for myself. Pedestrians, commuters, bad luck. This is my sidewalk, right? When did public property become an extension of private property? And then look at this. You've got a bar with nails on it on a public sidewalk. I just saw a lot of pedestrians walking in the road. Why? The sidewalk was turned into a VIP parking area for all of these motorcycles. I know a lot of people put their own convenience above others, but it's really not fair, and it is considered to be illegal parking. That's why the enforcers are taking their own photos and then they'll issue tickets. And if the drivers don't come out, they'll all be towed away. And it's the same thing here. See that lady with the umbrella walking the road because the sidewalk was turned into VIP parking spaces. According to the enforcers, there's no parking allowed on both sides of this street. So all of these vehicles are being issued tickets. If the drivers come out and show a license, they can leave with just a ticket. But if no one comes out, especially if they wait too long, then it goes up on the tow truck. And in fact, there you go. The towing crews are already starting to hook up to various different vehicles to clear them away. There are some signs here that say no parking, but the thing is they're put there by a motel. So obviously people would question the legitimacy and the authority of those signs. But aside from that, there are proper road signs along this road. My suspicion is that those signs are actually put there to reserve parking rather than prevent parking. See, this SCOG team will clear them because there are obstructions in the road. A motel doesn't have any authority to put road signs, especially not ones that obstruct the road. But for some reason, they are being allowed to put them on the sidewalks of EDSA. So, look at that. That guy has no helmet and a child on the front, no helmet. Do they really not care about their safety or the child's safety? That driver doesn't seem too happy about being ticketed, but I guess that's understandable. Wherever you place that sign, that's exactly where you're going to find the garbage, right? That's the style. Anyway, all of these motorcycles are being issued tickets for parking on the sidewalk.